Okay, so now we're going to get out our assault rifle and our shotgun. Now, this is actually the first Metal Gear Solid game to actually include a shotgun, which I thought to myself, finally. Because the first two games you only had, like, assault rifles and pistols, and I thought it'd be quite cool to have a shotgun for a change. I used to say to myself, it'd be cool if Metal Gear Solid had a shotgun. Oh, MGS3 has a shotgun.
Did MGS4 have a shotgun?
Yeah.
Okay. So, you can see by the percentage sort of thing.
Yeah, it is.
I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah, you can do that. You can actually blow enemies up as well.
I probably should have known that you could do that, but yeah, whatever. But there are no enemies around here, right?
Not that I know of, no. One cool thing I like about Metal Gear Solid 3 the most is that this game actually has the most stealth in it, really. There's a lot of stealth in MGS3, more so than 1 and 2, which is what I like about it. When 4 comes out, and you can barely use stealth, even if you tried to.
Yeah, I kind of get that you're not really a big 4 fan.
Nah, I'm not a big fan of 4. I prefer the first 3 games.
What's wrong?
Where's Sokolov again? I forget.
He's on the other side. Now, you know with Metal Gear Solid 2, you remember with Peter Stillman, if you knocked on the door, he'd actually say, "Stop bothering me," and all that. You can actually do that at Sokolov as well, but I'm not going to show that off, right?
Okay.
But you can actually do that while you're in a alert phase and all that. You can actually, like, knock on the wall, and you can also throw a grenade in there and kill him on the other side and the right side.
Okay.
And you can keep on throwing them. What you can do is that you can also capture snakes and animals. You throw it into the side of the window, and Sokolov will jump all over the place being scared of the snake.
You must be Sokolov. Are you one of Volgin's men? You'll never get it from me.
No. I'm a CIA agent. I've come to escort you back to the other side of the Iron Curtain.
You're CIA?
Yeah. I was sent by Major Zero, the man who got you out 2 years ago.
Zero?
I have a message from him.
What is it?
He said to tell you sorry for being so late.
Did he now?
What does it mean?
It means he's a man of his word. But we've got no time for this. You have to get me out of here before they arrive.
Who's they?
Colonel Volgin of GRU. You in the West know him as Thunderbolt.
Thunderbolt? Never heard of him.
He's a member of the Army's extremist faction, a man who seeks to seize control of the motherland. Ever since the Cuban Missile Crisis 2 years ago, Khrushchev has been pursuing a policy of peaceful coexistence with the West. Despite resistance and criticism from hawks in the Army and the provincial authorities, Khrushchev has managed to suppress the opposition so far. But the failure of his agricultural policies has put him in a precarious position. And on top of that, the tragedy last November.
President Kennedy's assassination.
Precisely. In a sense, Khrushchev has lost his biggest partner, and his power base is rapidly crumbling away. A certain group is plotting to use this opportunity to seize power by rallying the anti-government forces, overthrowing Khrushchev, and installing Brezhnev and Kosygin in his place. The mastermind behind this plot is Colonel Volgin of the GRU. He has control over another secret weapons research facility much like this one, OKB-812, known as the Granin Design Bureau, and is using it to further his plans. But that is not enough to satisfy him. Now he's plotting to seize the secret weapon I have been developing here and use it as leverage in his bid for power. The intelligence says that they are going to make their move during the test.
Then, the soldiers outside.
Exactly. They wouldn't need that many men just to keep me inside. Their orders were to prevent Colonel Volgin from capturing me. Even if it meant killing me in the process, or so it would seem. Volgin will come. I'm sure of it. You must get me out of here before then.
Leave it to me.
By the way, your Russian is superb.
I think he was speaking Russian because, you know, they had to. They had him speaking in English to the audience, but in actuality he's speaking Russian. I presume they did that so that we could understand them, and so that we didn't have to spend the whole cutscene like looking at subtitles.
Yeah. Still, it is kind of weird.
It would have been realistic if they had taken that approach, but I imagine many people would complain.
Because they'd have to read subtitles, because there are some people who can't seem to read subtitles, and I'm more like, it's not that bad. Well, for me, it's not.
I mean, I can imagine that being a problem if you're, like, dyslexic or something, but...
Yeah, I can understand those people, but then again, for me, it's not that bad, because I can read subtitles perfectly fine.
But, you know, I think for some people it does take them out of the scene. Oh, great, now we have to go find the boss, I imagine.
Weak signal. Just hurry and get Sokolov out of there.
The way Sokolov acts in this cutscene is quite funny. Kind of reminds me of Otacon a bit.
Maybe he was supposed to be like the MGS3 equivalent of Otacon.
Well, that's the thing, though.
You know, a bit scaredy, a bit...
Yeah, that's the thing about Metal Gear Solid games. Metal Gear Solid 3 feels exactly like the first game in many cases. Like, torture scene, this scene, other scenes in the game feel very similar to one another.
They seem to reuse a lot of things, a lot of tropes, shall we say.
Then again, did you know Metal Gear Solid 1 actually copied Metal Gear 2's plot from the MSX? Because if you compare the two, they're actually very identical. Snake has to go to a bathroom to see the love interest. Metal Gear Solid 1 took that from Metal Gear 2.
Yeah, but we'll get to that when we get to it.
Which actually, that is actually one of my favourite Metal Gear games, period. Metal Gear 2 was quality.
You mean the MSX game?
Yeah, quality game. I actually think that's probably my favourite, along with this one. I think MGS3 and Metal Gear 2 are my favourites.
We'll get to that when we get to it.
Yeah.
So this is the legendary boss.
So this is Ocelot when he was younger. And he was the major of Spetsnaz.
So now we get to see what Ocelot looked like when he was a young man.
Yep. An idiot, but a very fine one.
Very cocky idiot.
Yeah, exactly. He reminded me of a friend of mine.
What's a crew soldier doing here?
Soldier?
He's the Ocelot commander.
That's Major Ocelot to you. And don't you forget it.
Sokolov is ours. Now get out of here.
And Ocelot never lets his prey escape.
What?
You can actually play with Ocelot's gun as well. You can actually play for the entire game in your second playthrough with it. You use the right analog stick, you can actually move it like Revolver Ocelot does. And what's interesting is that when you fight Ocelot, the boss itself, when you use a revolver gun and actually spin it around, he'll actually play with you, and you can get the chance to shoot him quick and trick him.
So Ocelot's working for this Volgin character, isn't he?
Yeah, Volgin.
Yay.
Colonel of Grey.
And there are other things about Ocelot that we'll learn as the story goes on.
Actually, you can kill Ocelot after this cutscene. And he'll say, Ocelot is dead, time paradox, and you get a trophy for it. And you'll hear the Colonel from MGS2 say, you've created a time paradox. Because you messed up the series. So the trophy actually says, problem solved, series is done.
Yeah.
Because Ocelot, throughout the entire series, has always made, if Ocelot was dead, then Metal Gear Solid games would pretty much never have happened.
Although probably still would have, I don't know actually.
Because think about...
So I'm trying to think of all the things that was pointed out in Metal Gear Solid 4, which actually explains a lot of things that happened over the series. But yeah, thinking on that, remembering that, yeah, if Ocelot was dead, there probably wouldn't be a series. That's how important he is.
Exactly. That was hilarious when I first heard that. When he goes, meow! The Japanese version's hilarious, though. I've heard the Japanese one before. It doesn't even sound like an Ocelot.
Operatives!
What is that stance? Huh. That gun. If you're not the boss, then die.
Major! Leave it! Shoot the other one! Whoa!
You ejected the first bullet by hand, didn't you? I see what you were trying to do. But testing a technique you've only heard about in the middle of battle wasn't very smart. You were asking to have your gun jam on you. Besides, I don't think you're cut out for an automatic in the first place. You tend to twist your elbow to absorb the recoil. That's more of a revolver technique.
So that's the reason why he uses revolvers.
Yeah, and then when you fight him in the boss fight, he'll actually have 2 revolvers, and you'll be all like, this time I've got 12 shots.
He does like to show off.
Yeah, exactly. Especially the cutscene before you fight them, all like, stop showing off your twat. And then you just shoot the crap out of him in combat.
But that was some fancy shooting. You're pretty good.
And that's the quote that he uses. So that's why he got the, you're pretty good quote from.
Good.
And in the middle of a crowd of dead soldiers with, no idea as to when Khrushchev is going to send more. He sits on his arse and does like a codec call.
I was going to say, not all of them were dead, some of them were unconscious and knocked out with a tranquilizer gun.
Oh, okay.
Only the one that got cut in the back of the neck got killed.
Okay, yeah.
Sokolov. Something between the KGB and GRU. Between Khrushchev's supporters and Volgans.
Sokolov was being guarded by the KGB and hunted by GRU? Snake, it sounds like this could be even hotter than Cuba.
I don't like it. Something about the whole thing stinks.
I agree. You'd better hurry.
Sokolov ran off by himself, but I'll catch up to him.
We're counting on you.